Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try that one more time. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. All right. Good job. Welcome to an afternoon of Barbershop on Broadway with Danville Chorus of Sweet Adelines under the direction of Becky McDuffie. It's a special afternoon today as we not only salute fabulous songs from Broadway, but also present Star Search for the stars of tomorrow. So we want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy, because it is opening night or opening afternoon on Broadway.
Thank you. Your daddy said.
Now the next song is from the Broadway hit Oliver. It's based on Charles Dickens' classic novel Oliver Twist, with music and lyrics by Lionel Bart, and it opened on Broadway in 1963. It's set in England, features a tune that welcomes any stranger and invites him to feel at home. Consider yourself.
Knock on the door, open it wide, come right on inside. Consider yourself at home, consider yourself part of the family. We've taken to you so strong, it's clear we're going to get along. Consider yourself well in, consider yourself part of the furniture. There isn't a lot to spare.
characters with feline creatures. Its lyrics were based on poems from T.S. Eliot's book, Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. And the beautiful music was from the genius of Andrew Lloyd Webber. Premiering in 1982, the musical Cats achieved stunning success with an astounding 7,485 performances. Undoubtedly, the most famous song from the musical is Memory, sung by the cat Grisabella, and this afternoon by our quartet, Every Now and Then. Broadway stage with spirited songs that illustrated his love of life and the good old United States of America. And from the 1904 musical Little Johnny Jones by Cohan came the lyrics for this next medley, featuring two of those traditional songs that tug at any patriotic American heart. Here is a Cohan medley.
I've got
teach a lesson or they give good advice. And this next song actually does both. It was first sung in the movie Going My Way with Bing Crosby. This is a song that probably a lot of us learned as a child or maybe as a young adult. It's been added to this Broadway show because the would-be performers who arrive in New York with such high hopes of stardom that hope one day love to be swinging on a star. Around very long. It opened in 1971, but it only ran from April 15th to May 15th. It's set in New York City, and the words of this song describe the way we rush through life, always in a hurry. So the next time you go to the drive-up window for that quick cup of coffee, you may think of this next song from the musical 17 Girls 17. Off center, we'll sing Coffee in a Cardboard Cup.
The trouble with the world today is plain to see. It's coffee in a cardboard cup. The trouble with the affluent society. It's coffee in a cardboard cup. No one's ever casual or nonchalant. No one wastes a minute in a restaurant. No one wants a waitress passing pleasantries.
Hiya, miss. Hiya, sir. May I take your order, please?
The trouble with the world today is plain to see. It's everything is hurry up. It's ready with an instant tea and a minute rice. Oh my, oh me, it's coffee. I think she said coffee. You think she said coffee in a cardboard cup. The trouble with the helter-skelter life we lead. It's coffee in a cardboard cup. The trouble the psychologists have possibly be drearier than people from the local cafeteria? Seems to me a gentleman would much prefer.
Good afternoon. Hiya, babe. Would you like the special, sir?
The trouble with the world today is plain to see. It's everything is hurry up. It's rush and throw and don't be slow and BLT on right to go. It's coffee. I think she said coffee.
I hope she said
Coffee in a cardboard cup. It's coffee. I think she said coffee.
I know she said
Coffee in a cardboard cup. A cardboard cup. Hurry up.
From the musical genius of Rodgers and Hammerstein, we go back to 1959. The musical starred Mary Martin. It achieved Broadway runs of 1,443 performances. It's the story of the famous Von Trapp family singers. This very popular musical, The Sound of Music, was the last musical that Rodgers and Hammerstein collaborated on. It did win both Tony and Grammy Awards and featured many award-winning hits, including the one that's being sung here this afternoon, My Favorite Things, and it features soloist Marilyn Coach.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Ponies and Christmas noodles, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel and noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Boom, doom, doom, boom, doom, doom, girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melted to springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. I don't feel so bad.
The next song is sung by Symphonic and is probably better known as a Marilyn Monroe movie than as a Broadway show, but Gentlemen Prefer Blonde premiered on Broadway in December of 1949 with music by Julie Stein, lyrics by Leo Robinson. The musical has given us a song that all ladies agree on, Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend. Symphonic.
The French are glad to die for love. They delight in fighting duels, but I prefer a man who lives and gives expensive jewels. A kiss on the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. A kiss may be grand, but it won't pay the rental on your humble flat, or help you at the automat, then grow cold as girls grow.
Germany deteriorates. We watch this disintegration through the characters and the story of the musical Cabaret. Premiering on Broadway in 1966, this John Kander and Fred Ebb musical illustrates how the misery of war can affect people. The words to the song invite people not to let doom get them down, but to taste the wine and hear the band in Cabaret.
One good is sitting alone in your room. Come hear the music play. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret, cabaret. Put down the knitting, the book and the broom. Time for a holiday. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow the horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. No use permitting some prophet of doom to wipe every smile away, away. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret. Come taste the wine. Come hear the band. Come blow the horn. Start celebrating. Right this way, your table's waiting. Start by admitting from cradle to tomb. It isn't that long a stay. Life is a cabaret, old chum. Only a cabaret, old chum. Come to the cabaret.
It was in 1961, during the thick of the civil rights struggle, that a play entitled Pearly Victorious opened. Its purpose was to point a mocking finger at racial segregation. The musical version opened in 1970 on Broadway and ran for 688 performances with rather biting satire and energizing music. It won both Tony and Grammy Awards. In accordance, singing the title song from the music, Pearly.
I love to sit and hear him dream. He tells it like a story. He talks about a better time, happy days and glory. No more scratching for ornaments, like a chicken bacon. He's gone home, figure it out. Even more, I reckon. The moon don't rise to light the sky. The moon comes up to shine on pearly, pearly. Pearly. The spring don't spring to charm the bees. The flowers flower just for pearly, pearly. Pearly. I've never seen a man do the things that man can. He can still the evening breezes, stare the sun down till it freezes. I just can't wait to greet each day, to blink my eyes and say to Pearly, Pearly. You just thrill me through and through. Pearly, you're too good to be true. Pearly, I'm in love with you. Pearly, my Pearly. I ain't never seen a man do the things that man can. He can still the evening breezes, stare the sun down till it freezes. I just can't wait to greet each day, to blink my eyes and say to Pearly, Pearly, my Pearly. You just thrill me through and through. Pearly, you're too good to be true. Pearly, I'm in love with you. Pearly, my Pearly. You just thrill me through and through. Yes, Pearly, you're too good to be true. Yes, Pearly, I'm in love with you. Like I said, the one I love is Pearly. Pearly, Pearly.
Irving Berlin, one of Broadway's famous composers, is responsible for the music and the lyrics from a musical about the sharpshooting Annie Oakley. Ethel Merman starred as Annie when Annie Get Your Gun opened on Broadway in 1946. And from Annie Get Your Gun, there's no business like show business.
There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing, everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere could you get that happy feeling when you are stealing that extra bow. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Even with a turkey that you know will fold, you may be stranded out in the cold. Still you wouldn't change it for a sack of gold. Let's go on with the show. There's no business like show business, like no business I know. Everything about it is appealing, everything the traffic will allow. Nowhere could you get that happy feeling when you are stealing that extra bow. There's no people like show people, they smile when they are low. Yesterday they told you you would not go far. That night you opened and there you are. Next day on your dressing room they hung the star. Let's go on with the show. Let's go on with the show. On with the show.
Right now, Sweet Adelines, please. Now it's time for our very special guest event, Star Search. Now what happens is this: 8 local performers will be doing their best this afternoon to win your hearts and your votes. The first 4 will be in the junior division that you'll see. The second 4 will be in the senior division. Now please take note of this. We would like for you to vote for one person from each division on the back of your ticket. Okay? Now, we're going to collect the tickets, or some of the Sweet Adelines will collect the tickets at the beginning of the intermission, which is also the end of the Star Search competition. The Sweet Adelines themselves are not going to be voting. It's going to be you. They will collect the votes, and they'll be counted by individuals who are not chorus members here. The votes will then be counted, and the afternoon and evening votes will then be combined together, and we will announce the winners and present their awards at the conclusion of this evening's performance. So I think you can do one of 2 things: come back to the evening performance, or you might be able to catch a picture of the winners probably in the commercial news, so watch for that as well. The names of the contestants are listed on the insert of the program in the order of their appearance. We ask that you write your choice from the junior division at the top of your ticket, and then draw a line underneath it, unless someone's already done that for you, and then write your choice for the senior division at the bottom half of the ticket. Okay? You do have your tickets ready, right? I heard a no. There's always one in each crowd. Yeah, I said it. You'll have your time. There'll be house lights up against your spot. All right, don't forget, vote for one person from each division. Your junior division vote should go at the top, and the senior division should go at the bottom. We're going to open up the curtains for you now, and I'd like to introduce to you your MC for Star Search this afternoon, a sweet Adeline who has spent the last several months searching for future stars. Would you please welcome Trina Smith.
Good job.
Forgive me, I'm going to put my glasses on. Hopefully over these false eyelashes. We'll see if it works. Hello, everybody. It's nice to see you this afternoon. And thank you, Randy. I have had the privilege the last few weeks, anyway, of getting to meet a lot of very, very nice people, and we've listened and watched some very talented young and not so young contestants. And so it's my privilege tonight to get to introduce all the Star Search contestants. Tonight, you also, as Randy said, get to help select the winners, and you have a very difficult task, since you can only vote for one in each division. So good luck. However you cast your vote, be assured that in this competition, or race, or whatever, that every vote is a right choice, because all of these contestants are definitely winners. So, let's begin. Junior division. Contestant number 1 is Salsa Sensation. And Salsa Sensation is made up of 2 young people named Brady and Chelsea Kraft. They are a dance duo. They've been dancing together for 7 years, and they're only 10 years old, each one of them. So, Chelsea is a 5th grader at Mead Park Elementary School here in Danville. Brady is a 5th grader at Ridge Farm Elementary School. They have performed at dance competitions and county fairs from Peoria, Illinois, to as far east as Columbus, Ohio. Many think that they're twins, or at least brother and sister, but actually they are cousins born 3 weeks apart. Please welcome Salsa Sensation. got 7 more coming up there that are just as good as they are, too. It's going to be hard. Contestant number 2 in the junior division is Anna List. And Anna is 11 years old. She's a 6th grader at Milford Grade School. She stays very busy. She's just completed being in the cast of Annie at the Country Theater Workshop in Cissna Park. In her spare time, she plays softball and basketball. She also enjoys reading, playing the piano, and showing her 4-H projects. Anna enjoys singing music of all kinds, but she especially enjoys worship music and songs reminiscent of years past, such as the 40s. Please welcome Anna List. Robin is 10 years old. He's a 5th grader at Crescent City Grade School. He enjoys basketball and baseball and football. He plays the piano, does a lot of singing, and has most recently taken up the saxophone. And I discovered last evening that Robin's band teacher, he was telling me, is a former Sweet Adeline here in Danville. His name was Denise Wall, so a lot of us will remember her. After Robin's 5th grade teacher heard him sing the song he's presenting tonight, she remarked that this was an election year, and the next step, after learning each state, will be how many electoral votes each one has. You'll see what I mean when you hear Robin's song. Please welcome contestant number 3, Robin Hasselbrink.
States for me, my knees Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, 35 to go. Kansas and Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, and Google, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana, then Nebraska, 27, number 28, Nevada. Next, New Hampshire and New Jersey, and way down New Mexico. There's New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, now let's see, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and these Utah, Vermont, I'm almost due. Virginia, then there's Washington and West Virginia too. Could Wisconsin be the last one, or where's the 49? No, Wyoming is the last state in the 50 states that run. When I sat down all out of breath, my teacher said, "That's great. I'm quite impressed. You were the best in listing all the states. But if you wanna get an A for that silly little rhyme, stand back up and sing that song, but do it in double time." Alabama and Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, and Connecticut, and more, Delaware, Florida, Georgia, and Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, 35 to go. Kansas and Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, and good old Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, and Montana, then Nebraska, 27, number 28, Nevada. Next, New Hampshire and New Jersey, and right down to Mexico. There's New York, North Carolina, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, now let's see, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and Utah, Vermont, I'm almost due. Virginia, then there's Washington and West Virginia too. Could Wisconsin be the last one, or where's the 49? No, Wyoming is the last state in the 50 states that run. No, Wyoming is the last state in the 50 states that run.
Getting tougher? We have one more contestant in the junior division, and that particular contestant is Amanda Stanton. And Amanda is 11 years old. She's from Georgetown, Illinois. She's a sixth grader at Mary Miller Junior High. She's been dancing since she was 3 years old. And besides dancing, Amanda enjoys cheering for her team, and a girl after my own heart, she enjoys shopping. She also loves animals, another one after my heart. She has a cat and a dog and 2 fish. And tonight she's chosen to tap dance for us as a thoroughly modern Millie. Please welcome contestant number 4, Amanda Stanton. junior division finalists. And now, here's the people who have the second hardest part tonight, and that is the senior division that have to follow those little guys. But we're going to move right on because we have some wonderful talent in the senior division also. And after we are done seeing the senior division, the lights will come up, and you will be able to do your votes then, and I'll explain who's going to get them and so on. I'll have everybody come back out one more time for another bow. But we're going to move on to the senior division right now, and our contestant number 1 is Carolyn Smith. Carolyn lives here in Danville with husband John, and they have 2 sons. She works as a benefit analyst for Blue Cross Blue Shield and has been there for 16 years. Carolyn, or Coco, as she is nicknamed, has participated in Danville Light Opera productions and also sang for 12 years with the popular R&B band WQBC. Last year, she won a recording contract and made a demo in Tennessee. In her spare time, she likes to do crafts and do craft shows. You can visit Carolyn in her own little shop in the Heartland Center called Crafts by Carolyn. Please welcome contestant number 1, Carolyn Smith.
If I should stay, I would only be in your way, so I'll go, but I know I will think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. I will always love you, my darling, bittersweet memories. That is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye. Please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need, and I will always love you.
I would like to introduce contestant number 2. His name is Jared Yates. Jared is a senior, right here from Danville. He attends Schlarman High School. He started singing at the age of 14. And you might have caught Jared when he was singing at the Elks 911 benefit. Or you can hear him each Thursday evening at Charlotte's on Gilbert Street from 5 to 8. Jared has a big dream. He wants to be a successful international entertainer. Please welcome contestant number 2, Jared Yates.
Wrong number. I saw the light on the night that I passed by her window. I saw the flickering of shadows of love on her line. She was my woman. As she deceived me, I lost and went out of my mind. My Delilah. Why, Delilah? I could see that girl was no good for me. And I was just like a slave that no man could free. I spent the day at the man drove away, I was waiting. I crossed the street to her house, she opened the door. She stood there laughing. I felt the knife in my head and she laughed no more. My Delilah. Why, Delilah? I could see that girl was no good for me. And she has kept me a slave like no man could free. She was my woman. I felt the knife in my hand and she left no more. My Delilah. Why, Delilah? I could see that girl was no good for me. Forgive me, Delilah, I just couldn't take it more. Forgive me, Delilah, I just couldn't take any more.
Our contestant number 3 is a young lady named Kendra Milliken. Kendra has been singing since she learned to talk. Over the years, she has sung at numerous talent shows throughout the area. In fact, she was the youngest ever to win the Champaign County Fair talent show at the age of 4. She also enjoys singing in musicals and has participated in several, both here in Danville and at the Virginia Theater in Champaign. Kendra has her associate's degree in accounting from Parkland College and currently works for Cannon Cochran Management Services as a flexible spending coordinator. She's a newlywed of 1 year, and she and her husband moved to Danville about 4 months ago, although she's lived in the area her whole life. Kendra keeps very busy, but in her spare time, she enjoys fishing with her hubby, scrapbooking, and another girl after my own heart, taking long naps. Please welcome contestant number 3, Kendra Milliken.
Good afternoon, everyone. Are you having a good time tonight? Can you know class if you're having a good time tonight? The song I'm going to be singing for you is sung by one of my favorite country artists. Of course, she's got red hair. She has her own TV show on the WB, and this is one of my favorite songs. I'm going to be singing Why Haven't I Heard From You? You want to clap with me? Well, back in 1876, a little boy named Bill invented a contraption that we know so well. By the 1950s, there in everybody's home was a crazy little thing we call the telephone. Now there's one in every corner, in the back of every bar. You can get one in your briefcase or a plane or in your car. So tell me why haven't I heard from you? Tell me why haven't I heard from you? I said, now darling, honey, what is your excuse? Why haven't I heard from you? Well, there's no problem getting to me, baby. You can dial direct. I got call forward and call wait. You can even call collect. The serviceman, he told me that my phone was working fine, and I have come to a conclusion. Trouble isn't with my lines. I'm sure the operator would be glad to put you through. So dial 0 for assistance if this all confuses you. So tell me why haven't I heard from you? Tell me why haven't I heard from you? I said, now darling, honey, what is your excuse? Why haven't I heard from you? There better be a flood, a landslide, mud, a fire that burns up your wives, a thunderstorm night with a bright full of cloud, a natural disaster I know nothing about. Tell me why haven't I heard from you? Tell me why haven't I heard from you? What's that, now, darling? Honey, what is your excuse? Why haven't I heard from you? Tell me why haven't I heard from you? Tell me why haven't I heard from you? What's that, now, darling? Honey, what is your excuse? Why haven't I heard from you?
Thank you, Kendra. And now we are to our final contestant. Contestant number 4 is Kurt Kaiser. Kurt lives right here in Danville. He's married to wife Carrie, and he has 4 children, 3 daughters and a son, and it's hard to believe when you see him that he also has a grandson. He is a stay-at-home dad, which keeps him busy enough, but he is also a Sunday school teacher at the First Assembly of God Church. And in his spare time, he serves as a Little League baseball coach and a YMCA basketball coach. Kurt also serves as a PTA board member at Southwest Elementary School. Kurt is not unfamiliar with Sweet Adeline shows. When he was still in high school, we enlisted he and some other people to dance on our 20s show. He didn't mention this in his resume, so I don't know if it was one of the highlights of his life or not. Please welcome our fourth contestant, Kurt Kaiser.
One night when I was sleeping, I had a dream so fair. I stood in old Jerusalem beside the temple there. I heard the children sing, and ever as they sang, I thought the voice of angels from heaven answered rang. I thought the voice of angels from heaven answered rang. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, hark how the angels sing. Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna to your King. And then I thought my dream was changed. The streets no longer rang. Hushed word of loud hosannas that the little children sang. The sun grew dark with mystery. The moon was cold and chill as the shadow of a cross rose upon a lonely hill. As the shadow of a cross arose upon a lonely hill. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, lift up your gates and sing. Hosanna in the highest. Hosanna to your King. Then once again, my dream was changed. New earth and sea to ring. I saw the holy city beside the crystal sea. The light of God was on its streets, and the gates were open wide. That almighty
we'd like to bring everybody back on, and then after we have acknowledged them all one more time, I will ask the house lights come up, and you can make your votes. The junior at the top of the back of the ticket, and the senior at the bottom. Sweet Adelines will be coming around with hats, and you can drop your tickets in there with your votes on them. And then after that time, we'll take a 15-minute intermission. But let me bring these people back first. In order of appearance, Junior Division, Salsa Sensation. And Sweet Adelines, who are collecting, you may start down the aisles or up the aisles or across the ceiling or whatever you're doing. And as soon as we've done that, we will have a 15-minute intermission.
Could you...
Welcome back. Welcome back to the Sweet Adelines Barbershop on Broadway. We're glad you stayed. Didn't the Star Search competitors do a great job? They were all terrific, each and every one, but as we all know, whether the competition's for a prize or a spot on a Broadway show, someone gets what they want and someone doesn't. As a reminder to our contestants, and I suppose even to all of us, no matter what happens in life, we need to keep our sunny side up. The Sweet Adelines. Pajama Game is a 1957 movie that starred the singer with a big smile, Doris Day. But it was also a Broadway musical that premiered in 1954. Richard Adler and Jerry Ross wrote the words and the music about the sleep-tight pajama factory, whose employees were struggling to get a whopping 7.5 cent raise. take no for an answer. Well, one of our own pajama girls, actually several of these pajama girls, are going to sing one of the hits from Pajama Game, Hernando's Hideaway. All of us have heard of Marion the Librarian and the swindling salesman Harold Hill, who goes from town to town selling musical instruments and band uniforms to youngsters who don't know anything about music. Meredith Wilson's Music Man has been entertaining generations of audiences, and the Sweet Adelines will sing one of their favorite songs from The Music Man, 76 Trombones.
76 trombones led the big parade, 110 cornets, close at hand. They're followed by rows and rows of the finest virtuosos, the cream of every famous band. 76 trombones caught the morning sun, 110 cornets right behind. They're more than 1,000 reeds ringing up like weeds.
cruised into town. It would always go up and down the river, bringing entertainment to the cities where it docked. Jerome Kern and Oscar Hammerstein II gave us a musical tale that told the story of the showboat. Cotton Blossom was its name. It plied the waters of the Mississippi between Natchez and Chicago during the late 1800s and early 1900s. The musical Showboat has been a favorite of many theatergoers because of its poignant story and its beautiful music. And one of the loveliest songs from Showboat is the one that Off Center will sing for us now, Can't Help Lovin' That Man of Mine. John and Tim Rice teamed up to create the musical Lion King. When it opened on Broadway in 1997, people were, well, surprised to discover that it wasn't just a children's musical. Lion King imaginatively blended African masks and puppetry and costumes with beautiful music, dancing, percussion instruments, and rather unique staging. And it tells the story of a young lion who leaves his pride because he mistakenly thinks his father's death is his fault. As he wanders aimlessly, he meets a warthog and a meerkat. And they teach him to sing the following song, Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata?
Well, that's our motto. What's a motto? Nothing's a motto with me. What's the motto with you? Come here, kid. Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. Hakuna Matata.
Ain't no passing craze, no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days, all your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata. Do, 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 do. Hakuna Matata. Oh yeah. Wonderful phrase, what a phrase. Hakuna Matata. Da, da, da. Ain't no passing craze, no passing craze. It means no worries for the rest of your days, all your days. It's our problem-free philosophy. Hakuna Matata.
2, 3, 4.
Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Do, 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 do. Oh, yeah.
If you've never heard of the musical The All-Night Strut, don't feel too bad because until recently we hadn't either. It opened in New York in 1979 with great expectations, and it was advertised as one of those classy, sassy musical celebrations of the 1930s and 40s. But even with that kind of promotion, it closed after only 6 performances. Well, although the musical is little known, the All-Night Strut included a song that became well known. It is Tuxedo Junction, sung tonight by Symphonic.
Feeling low, so wanna go way down south in Birmingham. I mean south in Alabama, to no place where people go to dance the night away. They all drive or walk for miles to get jive. That southern style solo jive that makes you want to dance till break of day. It's a junction way downtown where the town folks meet. Oh yeah, at each function in their best they'll greet you. Come on down, forget your care. Come on down, you'll find me there. So long, Tom, I'm heading for Tuxedo Junction now. Wow, way down south in Birmingham, I mean south in Alabama's little place where people go to dance the night away. Feeling low, rocking slow, wanna go back where I belong. Tuxedo Junction.
Well, the glamour of Broadway and the excitement of New York seem synonymous because they're both bigger than life. But it was back in 1977 that John Kander and Fred Ebb wrote a song called New York, New York. And that turned out to be a song that was also included in a movie by the same name. The movie starred Liza Minnelli, But the song didn't really become famous until Frank Sinatra had a hit with it 3 years later. It's been performed on Broadway in various musicals, and because New Yorkers just happen to love this song a lot, it's played before the running of the Belmont Stakes each and every year. And it's also played at the end of every Yankees home game. If the Yankees lose, they play Liza Minnelli's version. If the Yankees win, Frank Sinatra's. New York, New York. The Adelines have done something new and unusual this year. They've invited some special friends in the area to join them in New York as they continue their Broadway review. These ladies have never sung barbershop harmony before, but they have had the challenge to learn 3 songs, which they'll be singing with the chorus. You can check and make sure the ladies all ready. Nice set. Everybody all set? Good, good. 1933, Harry Warren and Al Dubin have a new show premiering on Broadway. It's a singing, dancing sensation, and the words will tell you that this is a place where the underworld can meet the elite, because the avenue we're taking you to is 42nd Street.
Into
Broadway musicals were made into Hollywood movies. But during more recent years, Hollywood has turned to other kinds of themes. That is, until last year, when the movie version of the Broadway musical Chicago became a smash hit. The next musical number is set in the late 1920s. A speakeasy was flourishing, of course, many were. Jazz filled the air. And here is, in accordance with all that jazz from the musical Chicago.
Come on, babe, we're gonna paint the town. Oh, yeah. And all that jazz, I'm gonna rouge my knees and roll the stockings down. Oh, yeah. And all that jazz, start the car, I know the whoopee spot where the gin is cold and the piano's hot. Just a noisy hall where there's a nightly brawl and all that jazz. And all that jazz, slick your hair and wear your buckle shoes. Oh yeah, and all that jazz, I hear that Father Dick is gonna blow the blues. Oh yeah, and all that jazz, hold on, hon, we're gonna bunny hug. I want some aspirin, got a United drug. In case we shake apart and want a brand new start to do that jazz, do that jazz. Oh, honey, oh, you're gonna see your shoe, the shimmy shake, and all that jazz. Oh, honey, oh, you're gonna shimmy till my daughter's break, and all that jazz. Oh, won't you show me where to park my girl? My baby, oh, I've got a girl, and she learned her baby's yearning for all the rainbow, for all that jazz. We love it, all that jazz. I'm the last for playing fast, and to see your sheep shimmy shake, and all that jazz. Right up here is where I store it, 'cause her shimmy to my garter's break. And all that jazz, come on, babe, we're gonna brush the sky. I'll bet you lucky Lindy never flew so high. Was in the stratosphere, how could he lend an ear to all that jazz? No one's white, but oh, I love my life, and oh, yes, I like jazz.
The musical Chicago was written by Fred Ebb and Bob Fosse with the music by John Kander. It opened on Broadway in 1975 and is still enjoying a lot of success today, as evidenced by its Oscar for the Best Picture. Now, this next song is also from Chicago. It's sung in the musical by Billy Flynn, the smooth-talking lawyer whose goal is to help his clients become stars and get away with murder. Billy says, razzle dazzle.
Give 'em the old razzle dazzle, razzle dazzle 'em, razzle dazzle 'em. Give 'em an act with lots of flash in it, and the reaction will be passionate. Give 'em the old hocus pocus, beat and feather 'em. I tell ya, how can they see with
performers can reach for the stars in hopes one day of becoming one. It's a place where hard work, the frustration, the tears, the disappointments are all forgotten. They're all forgotten when a performer has made it on Broadway. And our salute to Broadway, of course, would not be complete without this final song written by one of Broadway's greatest legends, George M. Cohan. He wrote the song for the musical Little Johnny Jones, but it was later featured in a musical tribute to him entitled George M., which opened on Broadway, by the way, at the Palace Theater in 1968. So, from the heart and pen of George M. Cohan, and from all of us, give my regards to Broadway. Simba, better known as Carly Strader, Lauren Beckley, and Mara Fowler. Our 42nd Street dancers from Bay's Dance Studio. Sensation were Chelsea and Brady Pratt. Anna Witt. Robin Hasselberg. And Amanda Smith. Our senior division contestants were Carolyn Smith, also saw Jared Michael Yates, Sandra Gilligan, and Kurt Kaiser. Our special guests are about to present
our terrific MC, Randy Danville. I also want to thank Jim Trailer on the spotlight. And Brad Baystorper on the sound and lighting. All the gentlemen who worked so hard to put this show together. Our section leaders, Trina, Peggy, Donna, and Carol.